Hi guys, welcome. Danny here from the Magic Junk Drawer. So today I wanted to discuss a little bit like physical health tips, because when you're dealing with things like law of attraction or building things, like you need to be in physical good shape so that you have the stamina to keep up with these things. So I wanted to talk a little bit about diet, because I've been on every diet that there is known to man, and I can give you my opinions on them. The first diet that I've ever been on, I was in junior high, and I went to Weight Watchers. I went to Weight Watchers with one of my friends who was very overweight. My mom wanted me to go because she wanted me to learn how to eat right, and she felt like I put on a little bit of weight. At this point I was probably 13 or 14, and I remember that I weighed in at Weight Watchers at 121 pounds. And like the women at Weight Watchers were almost like why are you even here? You're not overweight. But my mother wanted me to be on Weight Watchers. So, and my friend had a significant amount of weight to lose. Significant. And she struggled with her weight her whole life. I have too, but not in the same way. Like, I've gone up and down like most people have, but she had a big weight problem for several moments in her life. So I remember being on Weight Watchers the first time, and I don't remember how long we were on it, but I know that it was every Tuesday. I would go home on her bus, and we would go to the meetings. And I went from 121 pounds to 116. I couldn't get any lower than 116, no matter what I did. It just wasn't going any lower. Now, I gotta tell you that, like, according to Weight Watchers, I'm almost 5'1". I'm about 5'1", and I think they want you to be somewhere between, like, at least at that time, like between 96 and 106. And I've always been on the higher end of my weight, always. No matter how thin I get or how thin I look, I'm still heavy. Like, I have a lot of muscle. I've never been frail looking. Like, that's just not my body type. So I'm also very active. So Weight Watchers, I felt, was really great for women that had a significant amount of weight to lose. Like, if you're 200 pounds and you're looking to get down to like 150, the weight's going to start coming off pretty quickly, and it's a really easy diet to follow as far as you can balance your points, or I don't know what they do now, but where you could have extra calories if you know you're going out to dinner over the weekend. So if you cut back the calories on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you may be able to go out and have dinner on Saturday night. So as far as that's concerned, I think it's a great diet for those reasons. Some of the things that I don't think I was crazy for were you never really seem to get low enough. Another point in my life, I had done Weight Watchers with one of my friends, a different friend. I was older. I came back from Italy, and I weighed 136 pounds. And this was probably about over 10 years ago. I think it was 2005. I came back on Christmas from Italy, and then we started right after New Year's. So I started at 136, and I know that I was able to get down to about 122, 123, but I couldn't get down any lower than that. And when I tell you that it took me from January until July to get down that low, it was very frustrating, because there were so many weeks where I was up 1, down 1, up 2, down 3. You know, months would go by, and I would go from 129 to 127, and then 128, and then 125, and then 128, and it was really annoying. But I did that until like this summer, and then I fell off of it when I went on vacation, and it was hard for me to get back on it. Now, we did other ones too. Her and I, this is a different friend. We did Jenny Craig, which the food is awful and it's expensive. And I think that, like, it was like a little, I remember walking around, my friends would laugh at this story, walking around the San Gennaro feast in the city and having like my Jenny Craig, like, it was like this big. Like, it was like Chef Boyardee. I just didn't, it was terrible. I know a lot of people have had great success with it, but it wasn't for me, I think, because they didn't have a lot of vegetarian meals, and I'm a vegetarian. I did, her and I did this shake diet. Let me tell you something about shake diets. You're going to lose weight so fast on shake diets, and then you're going to gain it all back and then some just as fast. It's like, I felt like it took me 6 weeks to lose 20 pounds, and then it took me 6 days to gain 25. Like, it's just, you know, if you're going to take it off that fast, it's not, you're going to put it right back on because you can't maintain eating that low. It was like, I don't know if it was 6 shakes a day, and then it was like green vegetables, but only green vegetables. You couldn't have anything else. I don't know why they had to be green, but they had to be green. So by the end of that, you're like, you don't ever want to look at another piece of broccoli or a head of lettuce ever again. So I would avoid that. Cabbage soup diet, enough said. You don't want to go there. That was awful. First of all, it stinks up the whole house. It is dull. Anyway. So right now, I've changed over to the keto diet, which seems to be working really well for me. I have not weighed myself. I didn't weigh myself before I started it. I haven't weighed it since. Haven't weighed myself since, and I don't really care so much about pound-wise, but it's about how I feel. And I was feeling really bloated and really heavy eating all these carbohydrates. And I'm a vegetarian, so it's really hard for me to stay away from things like pasta, rice, bread, beans, all that kind of stuff is what I really wanted to eat. Well, I was just not, just eating. Like I would get Ezekiel bread and I could go through a whole loaf of bread in 2 days. Like I just love it. But I changed my diet 2 weeks ago, and I started with the high fats. And I have to tell you, I'm never hungry. I'm never hungry, and I also do it with intermittent fasting, and I just feel so much less bloated. I'm not hungry. Like I would come home sometimes, and I would be like ravenous, like an animal. I couldn't eat enough. And now I'm like, I don't even really think so much about food. One meal that I've really found to be awesome is you can only have a little bit of fruit. You can't have a lot, and I love fruit. And I think the only kinds of fruit you can have are like a couple of berries. So what I do is I take a couple of strawberries, raspberries, whatever, and I smash them up and I put them in ricotta cheese. And it has to be the whole fat ricotta cheese, and it tastes like cheesecake. It's really good. And it really keeps me full. So I'm not looking to eat anything else. My suggestion would be to definitely, if you're going to follow this diet, research it, because it's probably, not for everyone. But Atkins was not for me, especially being a vegetarian. All I could eat was cheese and nuts. It was disgusting. I felt sick all the time. This diet, you can have vegetables. There are some you can't, like you can't have potatoes, can't have peas, that kind of stuff. But you could have salad with olives and cheese and cabbage and that kind of stuff. Carrots are okay, tomatoes are okay. They suggest that you limit them. There's a great doctor, Dr. Berg, on YouTube. He gives you a lot of tips. He suggests lemon water every day, which I love lemons, so that's no issue. And he suggests apple cider vinegar. So I usually have like a little bit of that before I fall asleep at night, just to like aid with the digestion or whatever. And that's about it. All right, if you like what we're doing here at the Magic Junk Drawer, don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to comment below on any of the diets that you've been on. I'm sure there have been so many others that I've been on. Oh, you know which one I was on that was really good? There's a company, I think that they were from North or South Carolina. You can Google them, Diet to Go. Excellent, because they make the food over the weekend. They freeze it, but with that, you know how they, what's that process called, where they suck all the air out and it's like hermetically sealed. So the food is fresh, and you can tell them what you don't eat. Like I'm a vegetarian that doesn't eat eggs, and I don't eat this, I don't eat that, and no mayonnaise, none of that stuff. And they will make the diet according to what it is that you eat, and it's always different, so you're not eating the same thing. All the food was delicious. And you don't really have to go to the grocery store because they give you everything. So if they wanted you to have, like they made a muffin and they wanted you to put butter on it, they gave you the little pat of butter. So everything was perfectly measured out. You didn't have to worry about anything like that. And they sent it to you in dry ice, so it could sit outside your house if you weren't home to receive the package. I think, this is years ago I did it, but I think if I ordered it on think it came on Wednesdays. I think you placed the order on Thursday, and then it came the following Wednesday, and it would come every week. And if you didn't like something, you could fill out a paper or something and email to them, oh, I didn't like this meal, and they won't send it again. So that was good. And it wasn't that expensive. I don't think it was any more expensive than doing a regular grocery shopping. And since I don't cook, that was really great. All right, if you like what we're doing here at the Magic Junk Drawer, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.